All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something super important, how you can turn your internship program from, just some temporary help into this amazing pipeline for your company's future talent.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that really tells the story. Get this, 57.6%. That is more than half of all interns end up converting to full-time hires. So yeah, this isn't some small side project, it's one of your main recruiting channels.
So that number, that's a huge opportunity, right? But here's the thing, and it's a big one. Whether you actually get that talent, it pretty much all comes down to the intern's experience. And that whole experience, for better or worse, it all kicks off with their onboarding.
So first up, let's talk about the why. Why does this matter so much? A strong start, it's not just about, making interns feel welcome. It's actually a critical business tool. It directly impacts how productive they are and whether they stick around.
And you know what? A really great internship experience, it doesn't start on day one. Nope, it starts before they even walk in the door. So let's look at how you lay that groundwork for success.
It's all about getting ahead of the game. Think about this simple checklist. You've got paperwork, tech setup, assigning a mentor, and some projects, and sending a welcome email. If you knock these 4 things out before they arrive, you avoid all those frustrating first-day delays. And more than that, it immediately shows the intern, hey, we're invested in you, we're ready for you.
Okay, now let's talk about that first impression. Day 1. It is so pivotal. It sets the tone for the entire internship and can honestly influence whether they see a long-term future with you.
And check this out. This quote really hammers home the point. It says, 1/3 of new hires decide in the first week if they're going to stay. Now think about an intern. Their timeline is way shorter. For them, that decision could literally happen on day 1. You've got this tiny little window to get it right.
So how do you make day 1 a home run? Well, it boils down to these essentials. You need that warm, personal welcome, a tour of the office, whether it's real or virtual. You got to go over the key policies, the necessary stuff. But then you also need to introduce them to the company culture. And here's the big one. Clearly define their role and give them a small, achievable task right away. That's how you build their confidence from minute 1.
Okay, so once you've got the logistics down, what's next? Well, the real goal is engagement and growth. This is where you go from just having a standard internship to having a truly strategic talent-building program.
There's actually a really great framework for this. It comes from the Society for Human Resource Management. They call it the 4 C's. So we've kind of covered compliance, the rules, and clarification, their role. But the real magic, the part that makes an intern actually want to stay with you, that happens in culture and connection.
To really make their work engaging, you have got to avoid the classic intern trap of just giving them busy work, right? This 70-20-10 model is a fantastic guide. You want the huge majority of their time, 70%, spent on real core project work. Then the rest is balanced between learning and, some of those necessary routine tasks. This makes sure their contribution feels totally real. But meaningful work, that's only half of it. It has to be paired with a really solid feedback loop. Seriously, don't wait for some formal midpoint review when the internship is already half over. Real growth happens with frequent, right-in-the-moment coaching.
And just look at the difference here. Vague feedback like, good job on the report. I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't teach them anything, does it? Now look at the other one. Your analysis was thorough. Next time, add an executive summary. See? That's actionable. It's specific, it's constructive, and it gives the intern a clear way to get better. It shows you're actually paying attention.
And finally, let's talk about connection. This is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to foster a sense of belonging. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Simple things, like giving them a pure buddy for those silly, informal questions, hosting a welcome lunch, making sure they're included in team meetings. All these little things help them feel like they're truly part of the team. So, you do all this work, what's the payoff? Well, it's huge and it's long-term. Let's look at the actual return on this investment when we start thinking about turning that intern into a full-time employee.
So, as the internship wraps up, having a clear, structured process is absolutely key. You need that formal evaluation to talk about their performance, you need to get their feedback so you can make your program even better next time, and of course, you've got to discuss their future with the company. That's how you lock in that top talent.
And here it is, the payoff, right there in black and white. The data could not be clearer. When you invest in a great intern experience, it pays you back in loyalty. Employees who used to be interns,
they are way more likely to stay with you than people you hire from the outside.
So, just how much more likely are they to stay? Get this, after 1 year, former interns are 16% more likely to still be working at your company. In today's competitive market, a 16% jump in retention, that is a massive advantage.
So when you boil it all down, the biggest takeaway here is really about a shift in your mindset. A great intern onboarding program, it's not just some administrative task or a line item on a budget. It's the very first step. It is the foundational investment you make in your company's next generation of leaders.
So, we'll leave you with this one question to think about as you look at your own program. Are you just onboarding interns for some temporary help, or are you strategically building your future leaders? Thanks so much for joining this explainer.